And welcome into the Pirate Radio Zoom room. Great to have the band back together. We're putting together a very special game week edition of the Press Box Zoom style. Let me first of all welcome our cast of characters as always. Double B, who's been riding shotgun with me now for 18 seasons here at Pirate Radio. Great to see you, Double B, even from a distance.
Glad to be here, especially from a distance.
Also, a guy we haven't seen. Also, we don't know. This guy's been quarantined since March. He's Billy Weaver from WITN. What's up, Weave?
Oh, there's worse things that could be happening than be quarantined, I guess.
You look healthy and happy, so we're grateful for that.
Thank you. Very healthy.
And then he's our little buddy. He's Brian Meador joining us from on campus at ECU, who we know is safe and healthy because they wouldn't let him at his desk if he wasn't.
No, I'm locked into my tiny little office here and basically locked away in scales because it's much safer in here breathing in all the asbestos and black mold. You guys know scales? You know how scales is.
Are you allowed to leave the building before kickoff?
What's that?
Are you allowed to leave the building between now and kickoff?
No, I haven't been able to leave the building since April. What are you talking about?
And we're bringing in our former producer of the Press Box, of course, our colleague here at Pirate Radio, Clip Brock. Clip, welcome back.
Great to be here. Hello, guys.
Clip over in our other studio. So nice mustache, Clip. Clip's the only guy I know who can grow facial hair in one day.
Thank you.
That did not exist yesterday. It's incredible.
It did not. Popped up overnight.
It did. All right, let's talk about it. UCF, I say finally here with the caveat that, look, we all know in this day and age, guys, anything can happen. And until we get to game day, we just saw it with the Notre Dame game. They were scheduled to play this weekend, but because they're not, ECU now picks up that time slot at noon on ABC, a nationally televised game. And I think this will be a true national game, not a regional game. But I don't want to count our tickets till they hatch, but let's go ahead and talk about it as if it is going to happen. East Carolina, UCF. First of all, your thoughts, Brian Bailey.
Well, you're looking, I think the point spread started at 23, and I think it's gone up to like 27 and a half now. So that's 4 touchdowns, basically. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game like everybody else thinks. And every time we say that, what happens. We get a 13-10, slobber knocker. But I think there could be a lot of points scored. And the question is, can East Carolina slow UCF down enough to pass them and win the football game? I think there is a recipe for an upset here. I think if UCF comes out, they had to be fired up to go to Atlanta and play Georgia Tech. If they come to Greenville and they're flat as a pancake and there's no fans out, in the stands, and they turn the ball over 2 or 3 times, and maybe it's there, but it'll take a monumental effort for East Carolina to win the game.
All right, Weave, your thoughts.
Well, UCF's going to come in here with a ton of speed. I mean, we saw a little bit of that speed last year when East Carolina went down to Orlando and lost that game. They're a very fast team. They're an up-tempo team, a lot like what we saw at East Carolina a few years ago. Back in the Skip Holtz, they ran that NASCAR offense is what they called it. I thought it was very interesting yesterday that Mike Houston, during his weekly press conference, he was asked about, kind of getting hit in the mouth a little bit at the beginning of the game. That's something UCF likes to do. They like to come out strong and fast and kind of hit you in the mouth. And he had a pretty good analogy that I thought was awesome. He talked about Mike Tyson. He said, Tyson was one of those fighters that come out and he would just come right at you. And he said, but we got to be the Buster Douglas, basically. And I thought that was a good analogy. And I think as long as East Carolina can take a couple shots early on in that game from UCF, but retaliate, it could be a good ball game.
I'll piggyback off of what Bailey and Weaver both said. Bailey talked about recipe. Weaver's talking about coming out fast. Back in 2014, we were double-digit underdogs to Virginia Tech. They had just upset Ohio State the week before. They were number 8. Ohio State was. Bot Tech was like 17 or something. East Carolina goes up to Blacksburg. Shane Carden and company, they jump out. We jump out. East Carolina did, and punched them right in the mouth and got them. They were overlooking us. We went in there, got up 21-0 on them, and they didn't know what to do. They had to play catch up the rest of the way. We ended up holding off and beating them. There's your recipe. You come out, you punch them right in the mouth, and not catch them off guard, I think. And then from there, you might have a sluggish chance, like Weaver said.
Clip, your thoughts.
Well, if I had to line up the games I'd like to play in the opener, UCF would be at the very bottom of that. It's a tall task for for Blake Harrell in his first game. And, maybe there's an advantage to seeing a team that has already played and you kind of know what's coming. But even if you know what's coming against UCF, can you stop it? I worry about that. And I hate the matchup for the Pirates. I do think, like Bailey and others said earlier, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think ECU can score. I just don't know how many stops they can get against UCF.
All right, we're going to get everybody's prediction in just a second, but first I want to talk about just kind of the logistical coverage of this game. We'll start our game day coverage at 8 a.m. here on Pirate Radio. Clip will anchor that for us, and then, of course, take you right up to kickoff, and then we'll be here with you afterwards with the fifth quarter call-in show. I assume that Bailey and you, Weave, will be in the press box with me. How are you? Like, I'm going to go to the press box for us. I just got the 3-page document outlining all the procedures, how you just even have to be able to get into the press box. What about you guys? Who's covering it, and how will you be covering it this game?
Our plans are we're going to have a photographer. Nolan Knight will be with me. The only reason I get to go is because hosting the coaches show. That's the only reason we get the advantage there. But and it's going to be. I'm going to get there early because you have to go through and you have to be tested for 17 different diseases. And then,
Weave, we're sorry you may not make the cut, but listen.
There's no way Weaver's making the cut. There's no way, Billy.
I said that. I wasn't even setting Weaver up. I was just saying that.
Hey, look, at least I'm not like Bailey and probably have to get tested for mad cow disease. Come on, guys.
You know what? The only reason you tested negative for COVID is because you had all the other stuff in your blood system.
Canceled it out.
That wasn't mad cow. That was mad ex-wife disease. I think that's positive.
Hey, that's the same thing. Ex-wife, cow, whatever.
Exactly.
Cost me a steak dinner too on Bailey, by the way.
So. Yeah, thank you. We still got to get split.
What are you doing tonight, Bailey? By the way, I could take you out tonight and pay off that bet.
Hey, that could work.
If you haven't paid up yet, I still haven't gotten my baked potato part of that meal.
That's right.
All right, Meador, what about you? You work for ECU. What are your responsibilities game day?
I'll be in the control room just like years past. I sit in the control room and record the game with Jeff Charles' radio play-by-play, and I cut it up for the coaches show. So that won't change for me. I won't be on the field, but essentially, it's going to be a neat deal because we're doing this whole virtual ticket thing that I think Eric Ward's talking to you guys a little bit later about that. But they've done a really terrific job working with IMG and Megan to make sure that we try to give the fans at home some type of game day experience. We're running things as normal in the stadium, as normal as we can. Keeping the number of people there down. But we're going to be showing the intro video on this Facebook Live that we're going to be doing for the virtual ticket. You'll get to see Jeff Charles and Kevin Monroe do their play-by-play. We'll have a camera set up in their radio booth. And it's going to be really cool. I mean, something we've never done before. And as you're watching the game, you click over and check out and listen to Jeff and his his call. And now with it being on ABC, you don't have to have your laptop all clogged up with watching ESPN Plus. You can actually watch it on your TV and then have Jeff and Kevin over on the side listening to their perspective and maybe getting a little bit of the flavor that's going on in the stadium.
Yeah, that'll be something different. We'll have to check that out for sure. And I know you guys are trying to do what you can to adapt and overcome the challenges that everybody's facing. All right, let's get our prediction time, guys. We know how we like to do this, and we're going to keep track because Clip said he'd help me do this. But I'm going to write it down. And that way we'll hold you.
I don't know if I said that, to be honest.
All right, I know. I made that up.
Okay.
All right, we're going to do this, though, because next week I'm going to hold you guys accountable as we do a prediction for next week's game. But let's worry about this week. Bailey, ECU, UCF, almost a 25-point underdog. What will the score be?
I'm going to go UCF 49-38. I'm going to say that it's one of those high-scoring games, and it's just, I worry about the experience factor for East Carolina with so many new people out there. But I think they can move the football on UCF. They've done it before. I think they can move the football. And so I'm not looking for one of those blowouts from the beginning, which it could be. UCF is loaded. But I think that the Pirates will hang with them, and I think 49-38.
All right, your prediction for game day.
Well, I think I'm going – I think the Pirates beat the spread, which I guess the last spread I saw was 27. If it's down to 25. That's news. I think they beat the spread. I think it's.
Oh, and if I said that, I misspoke. It's 27.5 currently.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw 20.
Yeah,
I saw 20.
You just made it up.
It was wishful thinking. Sorry.
But I think as far as the final score, I'm going 48-31. I think East Carolina is able to score some points, but I just don't think they're going to have enough for UCF.
All right, Clip. Or no, I'm sorry, Meador. Go ahead. You're next.
Oh, yeah, Brian, you go before me.
You already started, Clip.
If we were
Please
in
have at it.
studio, that's how it would be. So I'm trying to keep the order the same.
I hate to get the order wrong.
Well, I'll tell you that I agree with Weaver. I think East Carolina beats the spread. You know, I hate giving a score. You know, being that this is my employer, but
And if you need to pass, you pass. You don't
no,
have
I'm
to
not gonna
pass.
pass. You know, I would love to say that. You know, we don't know what East Carolina has. I've only seen them in scrimmages, and you can't tell from a scrimmage they go against somebody else. But man, Central Florida is really good against Tech. So I just don't see us having enough, you know, wind in the lungs to be able to pull this one off. But I do think they cover the spread. I'm going to go along the lines of 41-27.
All right, Clip.
I don't have a lot of wind in my lungs either, but I do like the Pirates plus the points. UCF 54, ECU 30.
All right, and Clip, as you know, this is one of the biggest over-unders of the week. What do you think they'll hit the over?
That is the biggest. And yes, I think they'll score 84. So yes, I have the over. Which I think it's in the high 70s last time I saw.
Yeah, I thought it was 77. Is that right?
Yeah.
The over-under?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I would like to point out that all I said that was East Carolina was going to cover the spread, and I didn't know they would have enough wind in their lungs. I never said it was going to win, so we'll leave it at that.
There you go.
I just gave you a score. I didn't tell you it was going to win.
Lame.
That's true.
That's got Troy written all over it.
Yeah, that's my role. To do.
No, I do think UCF wins the game.
I wrote mine down ahead of time, so I wouldn't be influenced by you guys. I think also UCF is just freaking looks like in midseason form. We don't even know what type of form ECU is in because none of us have seen them play yet. This is a disjointed year. They could come out hot. They could come out not. There's no telling. I think UCF definitely, unfortunately, is ready to go 56-24, the Golden Knights.
So they cover.
I do think the Pirates will cover.
No, that's
No,
not.
you don't.
Your math is
can't add.
wrong. Come on, Ravenscroft.
It depends what the spread is on game day.
No,
tell you,
I'm
This brought
saying
back a
UCF
sense of
cover.
normalcy. A sense of normalcy that we
Yes,
needed.
it did, Clip.
All right, I'm sticking to 56-24. Whether that's a cover or not, I'll let you got mathematicians decide.
Well, if it is for UCF, if it's 27.
All right,
Right,
then UCF covers. So be it. Here we go.
So everybody believes in the Pirates except Troy. Where's that caller? The Troy?
Yeah.
You're not like that rooster neck. Billy Weaver.
I hate to be
You're
the
a
next
pirate.
guy. I'm just going with what I think.
You're a true pirate.
I hope I'm wrong. It's worked for you for many years, Weave. So we'll see. We'll reconvene next week. We'll do this again. We'll see who was right, who was wrong, and then we'll be talking about East Carolina, Georgia State, hopefully on the road for the first road game.